Sales is very ruthless job. You have to be in a process at every point.
It is very important and critical to know the culture of the country or the geography where you are trying to sell.
Without knowing that person, you cannot sell the product to them.
Founder should never leave the
Founder
sales.
should never leave sales.
Wherever the founder is going, be it sales or be it from operation, you are indirectly or directly selling yourself.
It's a journey, right? You should enjoy the journey rather than thinking that it's a job. We have to just take this essence and apply it into a real life sales. Will be successful.
Welcome Kapil to Supersourcing.
Okay.
Today you had shared a lot of insights about sales, but in this chat we really want to summarize it for all those beginners, all those aspiring sales people. So let's begin from, suppose if somebody is about to start a career in sales, what do you suggest for them? What kind of skill set they should start acquiring and learning initially?
Okay. The first thing very important in sales is all about communication, right? And the communication is not just English. Communication is all about talking a problem statement or talking clear-cut information, or you tell somebody the information in a very good way, right? Make sure they understand. The second thing is, if somebody wants to start career in sales, very important thing is passion, right? And you cannot just start sales just by your education, like MBA and all those things. Sales is very ruthless job because you always face failures, very monotonous. You get a lot of rejections.
Right.
So you have to be prepared for that. You have to train in a way that you have to accept rejections every day. Like one day it will be very successful. So all the preparation has to go with patience and start slowly understanding the customer landscape. So first thing is patience, second thing is passion, third thing is acquiring more skills, and you always have to keep learning. Unlearn everything, learn, unlearn everything, learn. You have to have that mindset, learning mindset.
You also mentioned for being good at sales, you keep on talking and talking. But we also realize when someone keeps on talking, it irritates the person in front. But then you also mentioned there is nothing wrong in sales, right, when you are doing sales. So how to balance this? How to keep that motivation high even if you are realizing that the person on the other side is getting irritated?
Okay, that's why in sales is very important is whom you're talking, you have to profile them before you talk, right? For example, if I want to talk to you, I have to find an interesting topic about you before I came and talk here, right? And really want to understand what exactly you like, because most of the time when the other person talk, we always feel irritated, right? But if you talk in the same language, if you talk in same kind of passion, and also I talk whatever you like, definitely you start responding towards it. You can easily find out in 2 minutes whether they're really interested in your conversation, or you have to know how to shift the conversation into an interesting way. So, and also a lot of humor sense has to be there. Means it's not a very bad jokes or something like that. Make sure you put yourself low, look at them they are a higher level guy and talk. People always love that.
But there must be a thin line between a good salesperson and a bad salesperson, even while you are talking or pitching your product and services.
Okay, I can say it's a perspective. Okay. Sometimes bad salesperson can be a good salesperson for a different prospect. It's not it's based on the prospect, I can say, right? Some guys like crazy guys. Some guys like very process oriented guys. For example, few guys done some very good graduation. They really want everything has to be in a process way. For example, you take Elon Musk. He's crazy guy. He loves whoever comes with hustle and all those things. If you go with Steve Jobs and all those things, it's the process. You have to be in a process at every point. So it's all about the prospects. Like the opposite person, the buying person has a different mindset. Then it determines the bad and good at sales guys.
So I would say it is about knowing your customer well, what kind of customer you are talking to. Then you need to customize your pitch as well, right?
Exactly, because knowing your customer is the key, right? How you know your customer before you even talk to them is very important. That's where the real sales guys comes out of you, right? For example, if I talk to Aditi today, I should know where you're born, where you're from, what is your background, what do you exactly do, what is your likes, what is your dislikes.
Lot of homework.
I have to create a fact chart about you, then only I can come and talk to you. If you're not prepared for that, then you still make a conversation, but you cannot impress, and you can never be in the top of my mind. So that's the problem. If you want them remind you like, forever, you have to be prepared.
And it is about relationship building, right? So even someone who is starting from a junior position, how they can prepare themselves for that relationship building, who is while talking to someone very senior in the other organization for selling the product.
Exactly. Relationship selling is very key in a modern sales, right? For example, the competition is high. How do you stand out of from the crowd is very important nowadays. Landscape, right? For example, I start selling for US for many years. How I stand out is because of the relationship that we built so far. Because I'm very personalized with the sales, my prospects. I always talk to them, find out their family interest. I even know like my prospect kids, like what they do when they're graduating. I keep sending congratulations message and all those things. You have to create a chart where profile 1 customers, profile 2 customers, profile 3 customers. Profile 1 is like your cousins. You know in and out of them, right? They always business with you. Profile 2 is like the agenda is to move them to profile 1. Then the profile 3 is there, right? These guys are like fresh prospects. You have to build a relationship. You have to segregate the prospect, find out in what relationship they are with you. You have to put a graph chart and see like where they are improving every month, right? At the end of day, like you put your own review. You easily know like from 3 to 2, 2 to 1. Then you have a bunch of profile 1. Then you become a proper relationship sales guy.
And also for example, we were discussing about the selling in US. You mentioned it is very important and critical to know the culture of the country or the geography where you are trying to sell. How important it is and how someone can get to the know-how of the other culture sitting in one country and knowing the other country.
I think, it starts with your passion, as I told you before, right? For example, how we learn US is all about, we started working in BPOs, right? So BPOs taught you like, what exactly US likes. Start from food like burgers, pizzas, then about like the cities. For example, we call it as street. In US, it's all about avenues, boulevard, downtown. You have to talk to their language, right? The sports, culture, and history of how the country is made, and what kind of like dressing sense they have, and how the summer, winter, and other this one like climate change works, and what is the geography there, when it rains. So people think these are all not important, but this is important. For example, you go to any place, even in India, right, and without knowing that person, you cannot sell the product to them. Right? For example, if I go to Surat, if I come from South India, they start selling silk sarees to me, right? They cannot sell a pajama to me, right? I'm never going to buy that, right? But for a Rajasthani guy, if he goes there, you'll buy pajama, right? It's all about culture, right? Even in your language, in your body structure, every country has versatile human beings in every state, right? It's not just one. India is a diversified country, right? Even in US, every state has a different rules. Right? One rule, one Texas has a different rule, California has a different rule.
Yeah, the taxes are different.
Yeah,
right?
people are very different. Accent are different, culture are different. Tennessee people are very different. New York people are very different. Californians are completely different. So someone is very open, someone is very restricted. So you have to find out like how to find the essence of them. Go in their mind and talk. You always have to be there in the head, right? Either in a good books or in a bad books. Bad books. Always like they know you, at least you create an impact over them. That's what you need to do. Culture and the knowing, it all comes in knowing a customer, right? If I know Aditi where she come from, what is the culture, even like which religion you are in. Everything is important in life. You need to know the person 360 degree and also their surroundings. Then it's very easy to sell.
But then it's difficult for a person to understand and know these many cultures, because one time they might be selling to US, but next they might be selling to Europe. How one person can be that versatile?
That's what I'm saying. Like you have a lot of things nowadays. Like a lot of social media things comes up. Like Instagram. You just click like what is the events happening in Europe. What kind of like fashion fusion happening. It's very easy nowadays. It's not like, if you ask me like 10, 15 years back, definitely it's very difficult because you only have to see the news and all those things, right? To see like, when New York is getting traffic and all those things. Nowadays, it's all like fingertip. You just go and Google, find out like, what is exactly happening. For example, I prepare for a world tour. Like I go to Europe, I go to US, I go to South America, Middle East and all those things. Immediately I will find out like, okay, I'm going here. What are the 5 places I have to really like, work on it? Whether I have to work on their culture, food, where is the destination there, how people spend the money there. So you just need to like, find a research, then you start doing it. You never need to do the entire culture history or learn the history about it. Just need 5 information that top their mind.
Lets you do the proper sales.
Simple. Right? I came to Indo today, right?
Right.
I know like when you come to Indo, you talk about poha, you talk about food, namkins, talk about people and how it works out. So this is enough to like build a conversation and get a love from them. Right. Then you get to know like what exactly they are.
I guess
asking.
when the passion is there, the person would figure it out, like how to do the.
I think everything starts with your passion. That's why the first question is the answer for everything, right? And better sales guy always have a passion to learn, because he keep learning. Right. So without passion, he cannot learn. So everything, right? Start from your skill sets till your human psychology. You need to learn.
So somebody who is looking after sales in US, what are the few things that you want them to know before even hitting a call?
Okay, first you have to understand which time zone you are calling in. Okay, that's very, very important. For example, in the evening you call, sometime like these guys hit a Pacific time zone, it will be a 4 o'clock in the morning there, so they won't pick up the call. So you have to find out which time zone you're calling in. Second thing is based on your services, there is always a region, like it's exactly like India, right? If you go to Chennai, Bangalore, it's like proper servicing, IT tech industry and Hyderabad and all those things. If you go to Surat, other like Jharkhand, manufacturing, other things are coming up. So exactly in US also the same, right? If you go to Charlotte, DC, New York and all those things, a lot of fintechs, other things are happening around. Right. You go to California, a lot of startups, new age technology companies booming up. Austin is like in a big hub for all the outsourcing. Companies are like coming and expanding big. And even in New Jersey and all those things, healthcare is booming up. So every region has their own essence. So you have to like find out, do some homework on that. Then it's very easy to reach out to the prospects.
Okay. So you keep on hiring a lot of salespeople, right? There must be some psychology or some criteria that you look for particularly in a person. So as per you, what is a right hire?
Right hire is like someone with so much hunger to grow in life. Okay, someone is really like want to learn something every day, because I follow 3 things in life, right? Every day you have to learn one thing. Every day you have to help one person. Every day you have to do whatever you do 100%. If you do these 3 things, if I find this quality in someone, that's the right hire for me, right? You do 100% everything. You always try to do like perfect thing. And he helps somebody, that means he is a team player. He has a humility, right? You also build a network around him. You help somebody, they will help you. For example, in 365 days, you help at least 365 guys. So you build a big network. Right. And 365 days, you practice 100%. Right? And the first thing I told you, right? You always have to learn one new thing. If you look at over a year, you learn 365 new things.
Right.
So your learning is there. And what you say, you are helping person, you have a humility, a team player, and you have a passion to go success as a team. The third thing is you always into the details, perfection. The 100% is always detailing into it. These 3 things are the good hires. If you find this quality in anybody, even they're fresher, get them. You can easily mold them.
That's great. I would also like to talk about, you mentioned founder-led sales. So what happens mostly when founders start their journey, they are doing the sales themselves, directly or indirectly. But over the period of time, we learn like you need to delegate, and once we start hiring team and we delegate this thing to them, founder often take the back step in terms of selling and handling other stuff. What do you advise to founders still continue doing the sales, or how to handle this team, or how they can still be the ace of the game of sales?
Absolutely. I think handing over is one of the art. Okay. For example, it's like your father, for example, you grow in your family, right? Once you started earning and you started like, taking a leadership, You have to learn from your father gracefully, like you will take a back seat, but he still monitor you, right? Hey, are you doing the right thing? Whenever you do bad thing, he will come and pat on you, right? Hey, you have to do this. You can clearly notice from your father, he always advise you. Hey, I done this bad thing, you don't do this.
Yeah.
So what happens is, even though you take a back seat, you should always be focused on your like kid. So this is like, gracefully you're taking a back seat, but you should be very focused on, like, how the end result comes in, right? So you cannot take an entire handover. You cannot give an entire handover and, like, take the hands off. You don't do it. Any founder, talk from Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or anyone, if you look at, they hand over the sales team, they hand over everything, but the final call is always taken by them. Like
Right.
the last deal discussion, they will be involved into.
Founder should never leave the
Founder
sales.
should never leave sales, because founder-led sales is always a healthy company environment that should always continue. Is my perspective. Maybe I'm wrong, but so far in my experience, founder-led sales is always very good.
So yeah, I can totally relate to it. Few months back, I met one of my mentor, and he mentioned, like, wherever the founder is going, be it sales or be it from operation, you are indirectly or directly selling yourself.
Okay.
You are selling your product, services, your brand, your company's brand. So I can relate to it. Like, founder should never leave sales at all. But yeah, it's a different perspective how to delegate, and still you are still monitoring what your team is doing.
Exactly. Because, you cannot hand off from the business, right? Because sales is your heart, right? You can hand off anything, right? You cannot stop the heartbeat and say, okay, I'm handing over it, let it beat, right? You always keep monitoring it. It's like your BP, blood pressure, you have to check, like, whether it's high or low to run your, like, proper ecosystem. It's very, very important. Founder has to be super detailed in terms of, like, what is the leads coming in, how the leads going out, what is the outreach, how the conversion rates is happening, and who exactly, like, conversing with the customer, and what exactly is talking, right? And what is the follow-ups happening, how aggressively our team is, like, talking to them. Aggressive shouldn't irritate them as well, in a very good way, and keep, like, throwing messages and not fill their inbox, like, random big contents.
Right.
Make them very crisp, talk to them in a nice way.
Personalized.
Yeah, it's like, it's a journey, right? You should enjoy the journey rather than thinking that it's a job, right? So how I feel sales is, like, it's a very good journey, because you never know the destination where it's going. You keep exploring and going. So end of day, like, you get one destination, you feel like, this is the destination you came in. Once you reach there, you find another beauty there. Then again, you start the journey. It's a proper journey without destination, but you enjoy the entire, like, travel.
Right. I really loved it. During your session, I realized, like, I'm feeling like doing sales now.
Yes, sales is for everyone, right? It's not for sales guys as well, right? For example,
You made it so fun. I mean, I really find it so interesting. Whatever I do apart from that, I really want to explore it now.
No, exactly, right. For example, you start selling, you got a customer, and they come and, like, then the recruitment team starts selling the candidate, right? The candidate comes in, he starts selling his negotiation power and salary and everything. The entire life is sales ecosystem, right? Even with your kids, they want to go to school, and you ask them to do homework, they put a negotiation for you.
Yes,
Can you
yes,
take me
they
to the
do.
mall in the evening? Take me the shopping. Can you buy me the sweet? It's all like negotiation in the day-to-day life. We have to just take this essence and apply it into a real life sales, will be successful. But what happens nowadays with the problem for people is, they read a lot of content
Yeah.
with high-end, like, messaging system.
Right.
They immediately go and, like, approach that. That won't work out, because you have to start from the basics.
And I do realize, like, sales is a game of passion plus patience.
Yes.
If you are really in a hurry, you're gonna lose that client or lead eventually. You cannot really irritate, and you cannot really just keep on running behind the person.
Exactly. You can only irritate the customer before you reach them,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Keep calling them.
Yes, yes.
Once you reach them, once they are talking to you, then you become your girlfriend. You should be very soft,
Right.
silent, listen, then talk. Mostly don't talk.
And that is what we find mostly missing these days, the passion and patience.
Yeah.
Right? Even all sort of
Like, everybody wants
goals.
quick win.
Yes.
Everybody wants quick win.
Right.
Quick win are not permanent. Okay. For example, everybody say, like, in one night I'll become big. You never become big in one night.
Right.
It's all your hard work for so many years.
Yes.
One day you sign something, that's a big thing. It's not one night, because behind, if you look at it, you work through a process.
Right.
Like start from like A, B, C, like so many years of hard work came as a success for 1 minute
Yes,
at one night.
yeah.
That is overnight success. The overnight success always comes with huge pain.
Right. So as a final takeaway for the people listening to this chat, like what they should focus on to be a good salesperson in their careers and their life.
Okay, first thing is be a very good human being and humble. And second thing is like if you want to become sales guy, and be very passionate and be very aggressive in terms of achieving goals, right? Set a target for yourself, either a materialistic target, or you really wanted to explore something. For me, if you look at it as a small example, I really set an example I want to buy a expensive car. Maybe it says why car? Is it important for life and all those things? That is different. Okay, what is the process to buy that car? For example, you want to buy Rolls Royce. It takes 11 crores. For that, you need to do so much of hard work.
Right.
So set this as a target, whether you need it or not, the secondary thing, at least you achieve that.
Right.
So passion, set goals for you, and go for it.
Amazing. It's really nice talking to you, and thanks for sharing so many insights.
Absolutely.
And I personally would connect you how to be pro at sales.
Absolutely, Aditi. Always welcome.
Thank
you
you.
so much for
Thank you.
hosting. Appreciate
Thank
it
you.
really.